I'm Alex,
And I'm Hannah.
and we write for the Los Angeles Press.
Today we had an awesome time talking to our friend Max from Destruction's Creation on his recent musical endeavors. Check out some of the clips here.
Check them out. Now.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Yes.
I'm good. I'm good. It's,
I'm glad we're able to connect.
yeah.
This is
Cool.
this is our favorite way to do this.
Yeah, we prefer to chat with people, and we love, as being musicians and artists ourselves, like the fact that we get to see what makes other people tick, and then just like
Right.
get to see the music, hear the music first, and and then be like, oh, cool, that's awesome, you made that, that's fantastic.
Right. There's a lot that goes into when you know somebody,
Mhm.
you know, and then you listen to something after you know somebody or after you communicate or have any type of interaction with them. All of a sudden, you can hear all these things that you never heard before. So I'm
Totally.
excited for you guys to listen to it after we communicate a little
Yeah,
bit too.
yeah, us too.
Let's jump into
Let's
this,
jump
Mr.
in.
Max Sharp.
All
All right, let's go.
Who would you say are your main influences in your writing and performance?
Definitely Maynard, Tool, Nine Inch Nails and Deftones. Nirvana's always there. And it's very grungy, it's very metally, very industrial influences is what I listen to. So it's just kind of what happens.
Yeah, those are great influences that you can hear them, which is cool to know. What
Very cool.
is your favorite lyric that you've ever written and why?
You know, the way my lyrics go generally, I'm an improvist. I came up on busking. That's how I do. You know, every time I play the songs, they're different than they were the time before. So this was actually kind of a challenge. But when it came time to picking my favorite lyric, it was actually on one of the versions of Puppet.
Oh,
Not
really?
Not the version that is as it's been mastered and mixed and everything, but a different version that I have just at some bar, playing. But it was just like watch me fall as I hit the ground and I'll make no sound. And when you're a puppet on a string and you get cut down and you hit the ground, and just the idea of not making any sound, it's just like me to the world. Like, look, I'll shut up now. I swear,
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
Wow.
And that's definitely my favorite. That ever came out of me anyway.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you said busking. Let's do a little rewind. Let's talk about that. Like, how did that transpire?
So
Give us a little quick synopsis.
Yeah. So, like, when I was a kid and I very first started singing Mormon church, Idaho, Utah area, growing up, I would sing so loud in primary that they would be like, look, guy, you can't sing like that, guy. And I'm like 4 or 5 years old, and I took it like, well, fuck me, no, fuck you, ain't no one gonna hear me again. And I developed a stage fright that lasted all the way until I was 27. Like, nobody had ever heard me, ever, nothing. Like, if my own mom came walking in while I was jamming, it would go like, like everything disappeared. It was bizarre. And then one day I went on a date just with a random cool person that I went on a date with, and for some reason she had an acoustic guitar. I picked it up, I sang, and I let loose like 20 different songs that I'd written over the last decade that nobody's ever heard. And for some reason, right after that, I was fine. I went to go busk on Mill Avenue in Tempe the next day. And I went homeless for like 3 months, being a mail rat. I was living on my music, and it was ever since then, I've never had a problem again. And that's how busking happened, though, is it was just like, as soon as it released, it was like, you're all hearing me now,
You're 5 years old all over again.
Back to it,
I finally connected back to that moment before that moment in 5 years
Right.
old, right?
Awesome.
That healed a little bit.
Wow.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations for being here and doing what you're doing after all that. That's very, very impressive. If you're in the UFC, you got the beard, you got some tattoos, you're shrugging your shoulders. That person who told you, don't quiet down. You're walking to the UFC ring. What song's playing?
I actually had it set up on my phone where I was just going to push play right when you asked that. But the thing, I had to connect to my phone.
Oh, yes.
When worlds collide. Power Man 5000. Are you
Oh.
ready to go? Because I'm ready to go. Like that.
Oh, that gets me fired up.
Listen, we're in the middle. Well, hopefully on not
Tail
so
end.
much the middle, the tail end of a worldwide pandemic right now, which has closed down majority of our industry. We are currently in a cabin in Canada, quarantining for 2 weeks so that we're able to see family for Christmas. And yeah, everyone's got the crazy stories about, you know, how this pandemic has affected them. So how has this pandemic affected you, your life, either personally or as a musician?
That's actually a really, really good question. So, like, what I do for a living is I work on the phone, I basically sell debt settlement, right? I help people who are struggling with credit card debt, I help them settle it. But as the pandemic happened, that obviously went through the roof. So my income probably quadrupled.
Wow.
Jeez.
But with all that extra time and money that I all of a sudden had, that's when I was that's partly a huge reason why Puppet was able to be mixed and mastered, because it was an expensive job.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I needed a lot of funds to do it, to keep me owning it. And it's only helped me. But what it's also done is it's flooded the digital universe and the Twitch universe of live streaming, which is I busk online now, and I have for the last 10 years.
Amazing.
You know, I don't ask for tips, but it's just something I've always done. So now everybody else is doing it too. So it's kind of flooded that whole arena.
Sure.
But it's not having adverse effects. It's actually having positive effects, because now there's more people on those platforms watching too.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, it's
all
almost
those
building a
musicians-
community.
Right, and all those musicians who start streaming all of a sudden, they're bringing their fan bases with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
great.
it creates a whole new arena. So honestly, I think it's one of the best things that's ever happened to music in the sickest, sadistic kind of way. For anybody who struggles with knowing how to navigate those social waters, I absolutely recommend Ari Herstand. I've never met the guy. I've only read his book, Making It in the New Music Business. It's a how-to guide, and it's helped me so magically. That was probably one of the biggest forks in my road when I decided to read that book.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was validation, like, oh shit, you're doing exactly what people are teaching other people to do, and you've been doing it for 10 years. But it's also a how-to, things like Instagram that I didn't understand, things like Twitter. There's a whole etiquette there that I just found out about like the third time listening to the book, and I'm just like, oh, okay, you don't repost YouTube content on Twitter, you post Twitter content,
Right.
Shit like that I never would have known of. So I highly recommend that to anybody who hears this. If you guys are looking to navigate the social media waters, Ari Herstand, he's amazing. He's great.
What is coming up for you in 2021?
So 2021 is going to be a huge, huge year. With what I do for a living, I made a 12-month goal to be completely financially operating on my music. And I did that when I released Puppet in October. So I've only got, 10 months to hit that goal. So right now I'm shortlisted on 3 different films. And I'm shortlisted on a network television show for a sync placement. And also in a Starbucks in-store radio station, which is all really, really, really good. But the big push that I have is Get Away From Me in the next song. And then after that, the next song. I'm trying to release 6 songs next year. I want to go one every other month. But I need to be able to put the time to market in it and push it, without releasing them all at once. I've developed a systematic release system, and that's the big thing for me, is we'll just be releasing lots of music. Hopefully people are listening to some of our songs in the films and networks that they're watching, or when they're drinking coffee. And
yeah, there's Starbucks coffee.
Going. Right.
That's so great. Good for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll be rooting for you and looking out. I can't wait to hear it. Do the
hey.
We know this one.
We know him.
Yeah.
What types of food do you enjoy? And if we were in Tempe, Arizona, where do we need to eat?
I struggled with this question for a second, because one, I've been a waiter and a bartender for over a decade before in my past. You know, I'm a food connoisseur. I love the industry, stuff like that. But since COVID happened, I've went out like 10 times, and every single time I've got crappy service and crappy.
No.
Like I don't know if they lost their realization of. I think they were mad because they were still working and they didn't have their $600 a week unemployment. I think that's what it was. They had like this, like they were upset about it.
Yeah.
But before that, it's tacos, man. You got to find a Tempe taco house. There's a million of them in Tempe. They're no names. They're off the wall. They're just random Filibertos, anything with the name Bertos ending after it in their name. Anything Bertos is just fantastic.
That's where you gotta go.
Incredible carne asada burritos, sour cream.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the sound of
2
it.
o'clock
man,
in the morning, drunk.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there's nothing better. What is something most people don't know about you, but should or shouldn't?
I forgot about that question. What people should know about me that probably don't, and it's very personal and private, probably the most personal and private thing in my life. I'm a Christian.
Hey.
I'm a Christian, you know, I believe in
Yeah.
my Christ, I believe in my Creator, you know,
Awesome.
and that's about it. So.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that one is one that it's such an open-ended to, you can answer it any which way, from anything in the world. It could be that you drank 3 cups of coffee this morning, or something as personal that we always appreciate the more personal, because that's just like a little look inside of
And
who-
that's something we talk about all the time.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. with
yeah,
us.
thanks for sharing with us.
Awesome. Well, hey, we are super glad to have been able to connect with you today. And I can't wait to just like paste your song all over the internet.
Yeah.
And be like,
Looks
listen
beautiful.
to.
Paste away. I
Yeah,
hope you guys
yeah.
get happy.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
This was super fun.
You guys are more than welcome.
Yes, we'll
You
keep
guys
in touch.
have a wonderful day.
You
too,
Happy
Max.
holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. We'll talk soon.
Later.
Bye.